Hello, my name is Jasmine, and I'm the teen librarian at the Lamont Public Library District. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a few new teen fiction, nonfiction, and graphic novels for the month of October that you'll be able to find here at the library. At the end, I'll also be telling you about teen programs we're offering this fall and service hour opportunities that you might be interested in. Let's get started. Anne of Greenville by Mariko Tamaki. This is the story of how I became Anne of Greenville. It's also the story of how I found my true, and how I needed to maybe come to Greenville, of all places, to make that happen. In this modern reimagining of Anne of Green Gables, Anne is an ABBA-loving singer, actor, writer of disco operas, queer Japanese-American who longs to be understood for her artistic genius. Recently located to middle-of-nowhere Greenville and starting at a new school, Anne has a tendency to A. fall in love quickly, deeply, and effervescently, and B. fly off the handle in the face of jerks. Both personality quirks quickly come to play when the soccer team boos the premiere of her disco performance, which, in a roundabout way, introduces her to new BFF Barry, and she soon after meets the girl of her dreams, Gilly. Falling quickly into that age-old trap of ignoring the best friend for the new crush, Anne soon becomes embroiled in a series of dramatic and unfortunate events, and quickly finds herself wrapped up in a love triangle she never expected. Is she MTV with Gilly, or is Barry her true soulmate? Only time, or 304 pages, will tell. Read-alikes include Improbable Magic for Cynical Witches by Kate Salosa and How to Excavate a Heart by Jake Maya Arlo. Man-Made Monsters by Andrea L. Rogers. 'Tis Laga should never have to live on human blood, but sometimes things just happen to 16-year-old girls. Horror fans will get their thrills in this collection, from werewolves to vampires to zombies. All the time worn horror baddies are there, but so are predators of a distinctly American variety. The horrors of empire, of intimate partner violence, of disposition. And so too the monsters of Rogers' imagination that draw upon long-told Cherokee stories, of deer women, fantastical sea creatures, and more. Following one extended Cherokee family across the centuries from the tribe's homeland in Georgia in the 1930s to World War I, the Vietnam War, our own present, and well into the future, each story delivers a slice of a particular time period that will leave readers longing for more. Read-alikes include 5 Midnights by Anne de Villa Cardinal and Alazzo by Darcy Little Badger. The First to Die at the End by Adam Silva. In this prequel to #1 New York Times bestselling phenomenon, They Both Die at the End, 2 new strangers spend a life-changing day together after Deathcast first makes their fateful calls. It's the night before Deathcast goes live, and there's one question on everyone's mind. Can Deathcast actually predict when someone will die, or is it just an elaborate hoax? Orion Pagan has waited years for someone to tell him that he's going to die. He has a serious heart condition, and he's signed up for Deathcast so he could know what's coming. Valentino Prince is restarting his life in New York. He has a long and promising future ahead, and he is only registered for Deathcast after his twin sister nearly died in a car accident. Orion and Valentino cross paths in Times Square and immediately feel a deep connection. But when the first round of end-day calls goes out, their lives are changed forever. One of them receives a call, and the other doesn't. Though neither boy is certain how the day will end, they know they want to spend it together, even if that means their goodbye will be heartbreaking. I Miss You, I Hate This by Sarah Saidai. The lives of high school seniors Parisa Natfisi and Gabriela Gonzalez couldn't be more different. Parisa, an earnest and privileged Iranian American, struggles to live up to her own impossible standards. Gabriela, a cynical Mexican American, has all the confidence Parisa lacks, but none of the financial stability. She can't help but envy Parisa's posh lifestyle whenever she hears the two moms argue about money. Besides Despite their differences, as soon as they meet on the first day of freshman year, they had an us versus the world mentality. Whatever the future had in store for them, the pressure to get good grades, the litany of family dramas, and the heartbreak of unrequited love, they faced it together. Until a global pandemic forces everyone into lockdown. Suddenly, senior year doesn't look anything like they hoped it would. And as the whole world is tested during this time of crisis, their friendship will be too. With equal parts humor and heart, Parisa's and Gabriella's stories unfold in a mix of prose, text messages, and emails as they discover new dreams, face insecurities, and confront their greatest fears. The Maze Cutter by James Dashner. 73 years after the events of the Death Cure, when Thomas and other immunes were sent to an island to survive the flare-triggered apocalypse, their descendants have thrived. Sadina, Isaac, and Jackie all learned about the unkind history of the Gladders from the Book of Newt and tall tales from Old Man Frypan. But when a rusty old boat shows up one day with a woman bearing dark news of the mainland, everything changes. The group and their islander friends are forced to embark back to civilization, where they find cranks have evolved into a more violent, intelligent version of themselves. The islanders are hunted by the Godhead, the Remnant Nation, and scientists with great agendas. When they cross paths with an orphan named Minho from the Remnant Nation, the dangers become real, and they don't know who they can trust. The islanders will have to survive long enough to figure out why they are being targeted, and who is friend or foe, and what the Godhead has planned for the future of humanity. I Was Born for This by Alice Osman. For Angel Rami, life is only about one thing: the Ark, a pop rock trio of teenage boys who are currently taking the world by storm. Being part of the Ark's fandom has given her everything: her friendships, her dreams, her place in the world. Jimmy Kagariki owes everything to the Ark too. He's their front man, and playing in a band is all he's ever dreamed of doing. It's just a shame that recently everything in his life seems to have turned into a bit of a nightmare. Because that's the problem with dreaming. Eventually, inevitably, real life arrives with a wake-up call, and when Angel and Jimmy are unexpectedly thrust together, they will discover just how strong and surprising facing up to reality can be. Maybe an Artist by Liz Montague. When Liz Montague was a senior in college, she wrote to the New Yorker asking them why they didn't publish more inclusive comics. The New Yorker wrote back asking if she could recommend any. She responded, "Yes, me." Those initial cartoons in the New Yorker led to this memoir of Liz's youth from the age of 5 through college, how she navigated life in her own predominantly white New Jersey town, overcame with severe dyslexia through art, and found the confidence to pursue her passion. Funny and poignant, Liz captures the age-old adolescent questions of who am I and what do I want to be, with pitch-perfect clarity and insight. This brilliant laugh-out-loud graphic memoir offers a fresh perspective on life and social issues and proves that you don't need to be a dead white man to find success in art. Numb to This, Memoir of a Mass Shooting by Kendra Neely. Kendra Neely never expected it to happen to her. No one does. Sure, she'd sometimes been close to gun violence, like when the house down the street from her childhood home in Texas was targeted in a drive-by shooting, but now she lived in Oregon, where she spent her time swimming in rivers with friends or attending classes at the bucolic Umpqua Community College. And then one day it happened. A mass shooting shattered her college campus. Over the span of 15 minutes, on October 1st, 2015, 8 students and a professor lost their lives, and suddenly Kendra became a survivor. This empathetic and ultimately hopeful graphic memoir recounts Kendra's journey forward from those first few minutes that changed everything. It wasn't easy. Every time Kendra took a step toward peace and wholeness, a new mass shooting devastated her again. Las Vegas, Parkland. She was hopeless at times, feeling as if no one was listening. Now even at the worldwide demonstration march for our lives. But finally, Kendra learned that for her, the path toward hope and wound through art, helping others and sharing her story. BPS Only by Villanexi. High school student Vixie lives a secret life. To most, she is a meek pushover, often in the shadows of her esports superstar of a brother, Vigil. Unknown to everyone, however, she dons a secret identity when she logs on to play Zenith Orion, the multiplayer game dominating the esports scene. She knows firsthand the harassment female gamers often experience, but when an opportunity arises in a local tournament, Vicky, masks in hand, cannot resist the challenge. Sneaking around and hiding only works for so long. And once the truth comes out, what will it mean for Vicky and those who trust her? The Heartstopper Yearbook by Alice Osman. The full-color Heartstopper Yearbook is packed full of inclusive content from the Heartstopper universe, including never-before-seen illustrations, an exclusive mini-comic, a look back at Alice's Heartstopper artwork over the years, character profiles, trivia, and insights into her creative process, all narrated by a cartoon version of Alice herself. By the winner of the YA Book Prize, Heartstopper is about love, friendship, loyalty, and mental illness. It encompasses all the small stories of Nick and Charlie's lives that together make up something larger, which speaks to all of us. This fall, for tween and teen programs, we are offering anime and manga club, teen volunteer squad meetings, D&D, art for afternoons, craft night of the living dead. We're also doing 100 books before graduation, where you read 100 books before graduating, log them through your Beanstack account, and win prizes on the way to 100. For service hours, we have our Character Pen Pals letter writing program, where you can come in to write letters to children as their favorite character. We also have book reviews and advanced reader book reviews, where you get to keep the title after reviewing it. If you would like any more information about programs or service hour opportunities, you can contact me at jwilson@lamontlibrary.org. Thank you and have a great day.